Hi, friends. Welcome back to Awakening with Angela. I'm thinking about how I wanted to discuss this topic with you today. What we're looking into is how is our wellness connected to our state of mind and our emotional intelligence? So, I want to break these things down for you a little bit and see where we go, see what maybe that opens up for you. So, wellness. What is wellness? You know, I think that a lot of people, when they think about wellness, they think about physical wellness. They think about being physically healthy. And perhaps wellness is something that you think is attained by how much exercise you get or what kind of diet you have. And we definitely don't want to discount those things. They're very much a part of being well. Although, when we talk about well being, I think that it includes a lot more. And a state of mind being in harmony with our well being is really necessary. Um, it's really impossible to have well being and to not have a healthy state of mind. And what I mean by that is that a healthy state of mind would be a calm mind, a happy mind, a mind that feels as though there's a choice in how we respond to things, and a mind that doesn't feel like it's lost in thought or at the mercy of mood swings that we can't articulate or that we don't know how to be with, or that the state of the mind being such that it actually takes our ability to make other healthier choices away from us. And maybe you understand this as perhaps when there's some kind of sadness, if you've struggled with depression, or even if you've gone through a difficult time in your life, perhaps a loss. And during those times, it's really hard to exercise or maybe even to want to be social, even though we know that those are things that they help us to feel like we have a balanced life experience. But for some reason, when we're feeling our worst, that's when it's hardest to connect with others and it's hardest to take care of ourselves. And if the mind state is not trained to be able to recognize that perhaps we're going through a stormy time and that it's okay to rest or to have some solitude or even to reach out to someone in a time of vulnerability and share how we're feeling and let ourselves be received that way. That it's not healthy to always show up as our best self, because we're not always our best self. That's just not realistic. Um, we are, as humans, very complex beings. Each and every one of us is very unique, and really beautiful in our own way when you come right down to it. There's no comparison. We're all so different, and we all have our own stories, our own soul journey, our own reason. for being here, for getting up each day, for striving, for persevering and growing, and also for why sometimes it feels like we can't do those things. And it's important that those things are recognized and really acknowledged and given their right to exist, that we're all on our own healing journey. And it takes a lot of patience and compassion to learn to be with ourselves. And one of the really interesting things about that is many of us want to be connected in life. We want to have certain types of friendships, romantic relationships, even relationships with our families. And our ability to do that really comes from our ability to be with ourselves, to truly and honestly learn to love ourselves. And I mean that in a way that there's total self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is a journey. Understanding who we are and where we came from and how did we develop different emotional responses, that takes a lot of patience and compassion and care. And being able to provide that for ourselves is something that we often need to learn. We often need to have a guide to help us with that. And the really beautiful thing is the more that we can get in touch with our own true divine nature, our own heart, our own purpose, that's what enables us to be a good friend, a good parent, a good sibling, a good citizen. And so, what I'm talking about now really is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is not so much that we understand the names of emotions and maybe can recognize when we're struggling with an emotion, or when there's a good feeling emotion and we can perceive that we're happy, although that is part of it, but in a way that we are developing our emotional intelligence and really working in the realm of mindfulness and getting to know ourself. This has more to do with learning to feel all the varying degrees of emotion that exist for us as humans, because there are so many ways for us to feel. And if we don't pause and learn that it's safe to feel those things and to be able to really integrate those experiences, then we're missing out on part of the experience of being human. A lot of times in my life and also in my career, in countless interactions, I've heard people say, I just want to be happy. I've even said it myself, I just want to be happy. I mean, that's all we want, right? But at the same time, we can't always be happy. And if we were always happy, then it would feel like something else was missing. And we have to be able to see that as a necessary flow to life, just like weather patterns. We can't have sunshine all the time. eventually everything would get dry and we would need the water. And so, if we can come to a place where we can experience our lived experience as if it's these changing seasons and be present with each of those seasons, we can learn to welcome those things and to feel that it's right, to even be able to feel a solid, almost pride when we are sitting with our sadness, when we are being who we are. And we're not trying to change that because we know that it's right. And doing that has a lot to do with learning to not judge ourselves. And as we do that, we're able to see and articulate what's going on and to have some respect for ourselves and our own process. And a really beautiful byproduct of that is that in growing in that emotional intelligence, we're able to look at other people and to see that we truly are all doing the best we can with what we've been given. And that for some, there's more safety and more opportunity to be growing in these ways. And for others, there is not enough safety available at this time. And our ability to feel well, to be in well being, is also an ability to be real with this experience, to not spiritually bypass our way over difficult feelings and look at life as if we are supposed to be happy all the time and that anyone who isn't is somehow doing it wrong or that they're at fault somehow. We have to be able to accept everything and everyone as a part of us, that we are in this shared lived experience, that we're all made of the same thing, and that ultimately we are all one. We are all one being. And that perspective, it allows us to take care of ourselves in a way that we serve ourselves, we fill our cup first, but we fill our cup so that we have enough to share. And so that we can see that whatsoever I do for myself, I do for the all, that it's not selfish to be self loving, it's self serving. And it allows us the ability to live in a way that we have given ourselves the gift of awareness, that we've opened the doors of perception, and that we see that this gift of awareness is something that's available to all of us. It's omnipresent, and that it is our life's work to learn to receive that gift and then to find a way that works for us that we can share that with others. And so, all these different aspects of this state of awareness is what enables us to have wellness. And I want to circle back to this more contemporary idea of wellness, where we were talking about that it's perhaps it has to do with health, physical health, and perhaps it has to do with how secure you feel in your job, that you're happy in your career, that you're making good choices in your life, that there's financial well-being, that There are familial and social networks that we're connected to that often in our society in America, especially, we're so programmed to um, have more, be more, do more. And there is a beautiful thing about that. There really is. And at the same time, I think it's important to remember that our self as a sovereign being, our worth and value is not measured by how much money we have or how many reps we can do at the gym. It's not about the state of our physical body or our sphere of influence or the people that we spend our time with or the people that we come from. Our worth and value is something that we have to uncover, and being able to respond to life in a heartfelt way, in a way that I can make choices for myself that don't harm myself and don't harm others. The only way that we can do that is if we're coming from a healthy, awake, conscious state of being. You see, I can put myself on a workout program where I can say, oh, I'm going to work out 5 days a week and I'm going to become so strong and I'm going to be so healthy. And you can do that and you can feel great about that. But you can still struggle in so many other areas of life, even though you're doing something like that. And quite possibly even neglect people that might need your attention or neglect your body in a way that maybe that's too much. And this is just an example. But what I'm trying to put forward to you is that if we are able to slow down and really listen to our bodies and to our emotions, then we can make wise choices for ourselves. And so I think that's what I'm really talking about is a cultivation of wisdom. And so I would love to talk more with you about these things and to help you to see how maybe you could begin to know more about yourself and to make healthier choices for yourself that will be long lasting and that can spill out onto the ones that you hold dear and that can reach our world. And if that's something that interests you, if you find yourself in states of mind that are uncomfortable, that feel scary, confusing, overwhelming, fearful, filled with anger, desperation, hopelessness, I want you to know that there is a way. There's always a way. And the first step to finding that way is in a willingness to choose you. And so I'm here. And I would love to share with you some of the offerings that I have that might be able to help you at this time in your journey. And so please visit my website and take a look at the services. And if you'd ever like to talk more, please feel free to schedule a free 20-minute consultation. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Blessings.